Hi everyone, so I'm going to go over a comma piece, which I don't think I put up in a while. So this is on page B17. So I'm going to put in the commas and the semicolons like always and tell you the number of the rule that's on page 10 in section A. So this one begins, while Mike, a smart 8th grader. Okay, so while Mike, comma, a smart 8th grader, comma, and both of those are rule 6 because a smart 8th grader isn't a positive. It's identifying information about Mike. While Mike, a smart 8th grader, did his algebra homework, comma, rule 4, because while, that whole clause there is a subordinated clause that comes at the beginning of the sentence. He heard strange noises downstairs, period. Nervously, comma, rule 2, introductory modifier. He stopped working, comma, rule 3, because we have a series coming up. He nervously, comma, he stopped working, comma, rule 3, closed his eyes, comma, part of series, and concentrated. So for here we got 2, 3, 3. Hoping it was only his imagination, rule 9. Who's doing the hoping? The he that's about to follow. Rule 9. He sat silently and kept his hands still. Please notice there's no comma between he and sat because when the subject and the verb are right next to each other, there's never a comma. And here you have a compound verb phrase, sat and kept, so there's no comma after silently because this is not this and is not a coordinating conjunction. It's a conjunction connecting two verb phrases. So the only comma in this sentence is after imagination, and it's rule 9. His mother, comma, a registered nurse, comma, again, rule 6. His mother, a registered nurse, had started working the afternoon shift, comma, rule 1, so is a coordinated conjunction. So this week was his first home alone after school. Bravely, rule 2, introductory modifier, he told her that he was mature enough, comma, rule 3, responsible, comma, and ready to take care of himself, semicolon, because both sides are independent clauses. Now he was not so sure. Listening carefully from his bedroom, comma, again, Mike is doing the listening, rule 9. Mike heard the thumping sounds, comma, rule 6. The sounds are about to be described over. The sounds of heavy footsteps. The steps, comma, it seemed to him, comma, rule 5, because that's a transition expression stuck in the middle of an independent clause. The steps, it seemed to him, were moving between the living room and the kitchen, semicolon. He knew he had to investigate. And again, as I said in class, he knew that he had to investigate. If you can imagine the word that in a sentence, then probably there's no comma. Next paragraph. Quietly, comma, rule 2. Mike, who loved playing spy when it was only a game, extra unnecessary information just adds to it. So comma after Mike and comma after game, rule 7. Got up from his chair, semicolon, then, comma, he tiptoed to his bedroom. So this sentence, it's rule 2 after quietly, rule 7 after Mike, rule 7 after game, semicolon after chair, comma, rule 2 after then. Then's not as big a word as therefore and consequently, but it is a conjunctive adverb when it's used like this. Then, comma, he tiptoed to his bedroom. For several seconds, comma, rule 4, that's a prepositional phrase, excuse me. There's a prepositional phrase that begins a sentence. That's also rule 4 when it's there like that. For several seconds, comma, he thought about locking the door and hiding in the closet. So again, there's no comma after door because he thought about locking the door and he thought about locking and hiding. It's not a coordinating conjunction. So comma after seconds, but not after door. Comma, but, because it's rule 1, but that action he knew was something. So, but, let me just back up again. For several seconds, comma, he thought about locking the door and hiding in the closet, comma, but, rule 1, that action, comma, he knew, comma, rule 5, because that he knew is parenthetical phrase telling you that, this is him thinking, but that action was something a mature, responsible boy does not do. It's optional whether you want to put a comma between responsible and mature. It's two adjectives next to each other. That would be rule 3. It's a series of 2. Either way, you could go either way with that. Does not do. Wishing this day was only a bad dream, comma, rule 9. He's doing the wishing. He moved to the edge of the stairs. As he was peering into the living room, comma, rule 4, he heard the refrigerator open. semicolon. That's a full stop because what comes next is an independent clause. This sound caused him to relax, comma, rule 1, because for here is a coordinating conjunction. For he remembered telling Bob, comma, who always helped himself to food at other people's houses, comma, to come over. And that's rule 7, rule 7. It's extra information about Bob, because you could read the sentence, for he remembered telling Bob to come over. For this whole sentence, got comma after room, rule 4, semicolon after open, comma after relax, rule 1, comma after Bob, rule 7, comma after houses, rule 7. Okay. Mike was supposed to help Bob with math, though Bob, comma, Mike would bet, comma, rule 5, would try to convince him to goof off and watch TV. Okay, and that's all you got for this sentence. Okay. When Bob came into view, comma, rule 4, he was holding a sandwich, comma, glass of lemonade, comma, and a jar of pickles. And so you got 4 after view, and then you got rule 3 for sandwich and lemonade. When he saw Mike, comma, rule 4, he said, comma, rule 8, because it's a quoted dialogue, Mike, what are you doing on the steps? And that would be rule 10, because he's direct address. He's saying his name to him. Nothing, Mike said. You want to put the comma next to the G before the quote. That's rule 8, quoted dialogue. Knock next time you come over, semicolon, that's a full statement. It's a command. There's no subject stated there, but it's you knock next time you come over, semicolon. You're lucky that I don't tell my mom how much of her food you eat. Next paragraph. If you tell her that, comma, rule 4, I'll tell her you forgot to lock the door, comma, rule 10, idiot, comma, because now that's with the quote. So you got 4, 10, 8. Mike, wanting his mother to trust him, was more scared of her finding out that he forgot to lock the door than confronting burglars. Let me back up. Mike, comma, rule 9. So here the ing clause is after the noun, after the subject, as opposed to before, like we've usually seen it. Mike, comma, rule 9, wanting his mother to trust him, comma, rule 9, was more scared of her finding out that he forgot to lock the door than confronting burglars, semicolon. In fact, comma, rule 2, he was grateful that Bob came over before his mother returned from work. Okay, there we go. Hope that helps. If you have any questions, put that in the comments. Thank you.